Friends, today is Monday, the 7th of September. It's Labor Day, and that's a holiday, and my day off all at the same time. We're back in my study, and we're looking at the Gospel today, the Gospel, once again, from the Gospel of Luke. And it's another controversy story, the second story dealing with the Sabbath. Remember the first story dealing with the Sabbath a few days ago. Jesus and his disciples were passing through a field of grain, and the disciples grabbed some of the grain, rubbed it, and ate it. And that was considered a lack of observance of the Sabbath, breaking the Sabbath, doing work, reaping, just this little motion of theirs. And the conclusion of that story was that Jesus is Lord of the Sabbath. There is something greater than the Sabbath here. And that something greater is Jesus breaking into the world, the kingdom in Jesus breaking into the world. And it seems that the Sabbath observance in the Gospels brings out some of the greatest challenges to Jesus. And he doesn't dismiss them, he doesn't flee from them, he almost provokes the scribes and the Pharisees to challenge him on this. And thus he considered it very important that people understand the true observance and what that means of the Sabbath. Today, we have Jesus in the synagogue, and it is the Sabbath, and there is a man there, it says, with a withered hand. His right hand, probably his most useful hand, was withered. And the scribes and the Pharisees observe him closely. They're trying to catch him. Jesus knows this, looks around, sees the man, calls him forward as if to make a point of what he is about to do. And he looks at the scribes and the Pharisees when he does this, and he says to them, I ask you, is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath rather than to do evil, to save life rather than to destroy it? To do good on the Sabbath, the true purpose of the Sabbath, to do good. Of course, they're silent, and Jesus tells the man to stretch out his hand, and immediately it is cured. Scribes and Pharisees are quite angry at this, looking for a way to catch him. But Jesus, of course, says the Sabbath is for life, and to give life, and to do good. But they, the scribes and Pharisees, became enraged and discussed together what they might do to Jesus. So already the dark clouds of his passion and death begin to form. But this story and the previous one with the grains of wheat are not so much about Sabbath, although they are. Jesus wants to point out the true way to celebrate and to observe the Sabbath, but they're really also about the identity of Jesus. Remember, we started a week or two ago. Jesus gets up in the synagogue in Nazareth, unfurls the scroll, and reads from the prophet Isaiah, describing that the Spirit of the Lord is upon him, Jesus, because the Lord has anointed him to bring glad tidings, freedom to captives. And as the gospel unfolds, we begin to see through his miracles, through his words, who is this person? Who is this person who brings glad tidings? And over the last week or so, we have seen that Jesus is the one who expels demons, frees people from demonic possession. He's the one who heals. He healed the mother-in-law of Peter from her fever, saving her perhaps even from death. He is the one who the people after the Sabbath bring all of their sick to him, and he lays hands on each one in a personal way. He is the bridegroom. Remember the story of the bridegroom, the wise and foolish virgins. Jesus is the bridegroom. And the question of the Pharisees, why do your disciples not fast? Well, how can they fast when the bridegroom is present? We're at a wedding feast. We don't fast at a wedding feast. Jesus is the bridegroom, and we celebrate that wedding. And finally, the Sabbath stories. Jesus is Lord of the Sabbath, the new Torah, the new law. And thus gradually we come to see Jesus, what it means for a year of favor, the Jubilee year. And all of these examples indicate God having mercy on his people, breaking into the world. We come to see through Jesus who God truly is. And the stories, of course, will continue about Jesus, who he is, what he brings to us. But the greatest thing he brings is that wedding feast and the joy it brings. So let us feast. Let us enjoy the wedding with the bridegroom and the bride, who is the church. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good Labor Day.